Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Smoking Simian podcast. I'm, of course, the guy that you love to listen to start your fucking day off with. I'm not even going to say my name. Y'all know it. Shit. Nah, I'm playing. Hope you guys are having a great start to your week. What is it, 3 weeks into January? Maybe? I have no fucking idea, but either way, we're rocking and fucking rolling. Super excited about the obsessive aggression drop. I don't sound it, but I definitely am. I was really thinking, it just goes back to those times when I was thinking, what the fuck am I going to do? What am I going to do with my fucking life? And once you figure out the shit that you don't want to be a part of, it's fucking phenomenal. Because then you can just really be like, hey, I'm going to go and find something that I want to be a part of. And once you do and you fully commit, it's great. This was months of planning ahead of time. Whereas this podcast was like a, spontaneous fucking thing. The brand, the gloves, different. This is more of a creative outlet, so there's it makes sense to have spontaneity, if that's the right fucking word. I could have just made that up. But it's good. It makes sense for it to be a little bit more spontaneous. That's what sometimes a lot of the best art is. It's just some crazy spontaneous shit. Whereas the business, there's still an art to it. There's an art to everything, but there's a science, more science to the business. There's science to this as well. But it's like if there's a bar, like a bar with one side that says science and one side that says art, and you think of something artistic, obviously there's more art to it. There's your Captain Obvious point for the day. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. But the brand, the obsessive aggression stuff, that came with just learning that I want to be an entrepreneur. I really want to be an entrepreneur. I want to work for myself. I want to own things, It's not an ego thing. It's just the way I want to live my life. That's, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And it's those first steps that are the hardest. It's the first steps, regardless of whether you're doing something mostly artistic or you're doing something mostly scientific. It's, learning everything along the way is obviously super important. So taking those first steps are the hardest. It's always the hardest. And I'm here to say that once you get what you're trying to do off the ground, it's a great fucking feeling. It's like a long time coming type thing, And it's crazy because it's only the beginning, right? And those little wins that you get along the way are phenomenal. It's like that old saying, if I have to chop down a tree, if I have 24 hours to chop down a tree, the first 20 hours I'm going to be sharpening the blade. That's what planning is. That's what fucking, strategizing is. Whatever you're going to do, the satisfaction comes from when you're doing it. So it makes sense to just look forward to that. But if you don't take more than double the time to plan and figure out, circumstance A, B, and C, and sub-circumstances and all the shit that could happen in between, then you might not even get to the time where you get to do it. You might not even get to the point where you get to exhibit everything that you want to do, the fun stuff, the stuff that excites you. The actual doing of the podcast is what excites me, the sitting down and recording and the talking and the venting and all this stuff. I love it. I love the idea of it. But the tech stuff is sickening to me. Let me take a sip quick. Oh, yeah. This is the Yeti. Shout out, Yeti. Come on, Yeti. Get behind me. Look, we'll even show you. Let's see. You might even be able to see that. Boom. Right there. Yeti. Anyway, we getting it off the ground is only going to happen if you put double or triple the amount of time into the planning process of it. everybody wants to do the fun thing. Everybody wants to be a millionaire. Everybody wants to have their artwork in some respected space. Everybody wants the outcome, but it's the planning that people don't understand. You know, it's how you move, how you go about getting there. And obviously there's action within planning. Like, you don't just plan, write your shit down, and okay. When I say doing the thing, I mean getting it I don't mean just getting it off the ground. I mean everything, doing the thing, doing the research to make sure you're doing everything legitimately. There's nothing I want in this world less than to be caught with some kind of tax problem. I pay my taxes. I'll always pay my fucking taxes. And if I'm going to start a business, I want to know everything surrounding, everything surrounding the idea of getting taxed and taxation, and I'm going to work with an accountant and all this shit. I don't want any problems with that. So if you have a side hustle or something that you want to make legitimate, you have to figure out the tax situation, because God forbid, they got Al Capone on taxes, and motherfuckers sent hits, got people killed, bootlegged, fucking you name it, did anything under the sun, but they got him for tax evasion. So they'll get that motherfucker. They will get you. Everybody probably just got their W-2s back. I know I got a couple of mine. I've had a few jobs in the past year, but I don't know. Who gives a fuck about any of that? I'm just excited. I'm just excited for the brand. I'm excited for the bounce back of everything. Right? 2020 was fucked up. Who gives a fuck? No more looking at that. 2021, a lot of it's going to be fucked up, but it's only as fucked up as you make it out to be. If you concern yourself, if you die behind certain ideas that are just one-sided or idiotic and it doesn't make much sense, you're going to have a way worse time than everybody else, because you're going to get wrapped up in these things. That's why politics to me is such a crazy fucking idea. How do you get so wrapped up and emotionally invested that when things go not your way, essentially, or not your party's way, or not your view's way, some crazy shit has to happen. Like, and I mean, I don't even mean like, mobs of people rioting or anything. I'm talking about at dinner. You can't have a conversation. You can't have a conversation without people getting hostile about a lot of that shit. And, I forgot where even the fuck I was when I wanted to bring any of that up. But 2021 is going to be... Oh, right. I was going to say, if you get wrapped up in these ideas and these people and all these things, it's like... Of course you're going to have a meek time. Of course life is going to be shitty. You know what I'm saying? You're focusing on shitty things. Like, I understand if you agree with something that, a movement, if you agree with somebody's rhetoric or something, that's fine. But to really get diehard behind it and have these immense feelings, you're going to be stressed out all the time. There's always problems all the fucking time. And don't get me wrong, I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to go hungry or whatever the fucking case is. You can't concern yourself with a lot of these things all the time. Hopefully one day I can get in a place where I can do some true charity work, some real philanthropy, right? And whether it be in my community or just in the world in general, because there's so many sketchy things these days. And when it comes to GoFundMe and all these fucked up things. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people who use them correctly, and I'm happy for that. But what I'm saying is the companies. There's, nonprofits that are, the guy who runs the thing is driving a $75,000, $80,000 car, which might not be a lot, but you own a nonprofit. What the fuck are you doing? You're taking people's donations that are supposed to be going to this whatever the fuck fund, and you're taking a cut of it? Like, why? Because you're the intermediary? Fuck that. I want to get to a place where I want to hand you the money. If I can hand a homeless person money, I feel way better than if I go and donate to the Salvation Army. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just a person who just goes out and donates. I affiliate with a lot of that stuff. And it's not because I'm a fucking douchebag. It's just I don't know where that money's going. Unless I know exactly, hey, we're going to a food bank. There's going to be fucking kids there. The money that you put up is directly going to them, yada, yada. If they can convince me, then sure. But I'd much rather go up to you and give you a loaf of bread or buy you a fucking meal or give you your money. Whatever the fuck it is, man. It's, I don't know how I got on this fucking topic, but concerning yourself with a whole lot of shit that you don't have any control over. That's really what it is. You're worrying about things that, yes, they're problems and they're daunting on the human race, and they obviously take space in everybody's mind. You know, a war happens, everybody's thinking about all the people that died, the children whose parents are dead, and now, you know, the food supplies are burned or whatever the fuck, and people are going to go hungry for months, and it's obviously fucking terrible. We all think about it, but to really let it weigh on you is, there's already so many problems that we have in our lives naturally. Why add any more to it? Why add the entirety of the world's problems to your list? Don't get me wrong. Empathy and sympathy is one of the greatest qualities that humans have. But there comes times where it's like, hey, I got to focus on what the fuck I'm doing. So that's why that whole spiel was, because getting past 2020, yes, people fucking died. COVID was terrible. Riots were crazy. Whatever the fuck. You want to know what's going to happen in 2021? People are going to die. There's going to be riots. It's going to be sad. But if you look past that shit and you worry about your shit, then anything is fucking possible. And that's how your days are determined, right? Now, people say, oh, depression is a choice, or being in a bad mood is a choice. I would disagree to an extent, because there's plenty of times where you're choosing. You're essentially choosing to think about things that are incredibly heavy. They're heavy things to be dealing with, which is why everybody's so on edge all the time. Oh, you can't say this and you can't do that. Well, you know, it's hard to make a joke. It's hard to, you know, oh, I don't care. I heard Tim Dillon say it. He's like, nobody has said the phrase "I don't care" and actually have meant it in years. And it's fucking true. Like, everybody's so cautious. Everybody tiptoes around things, and I understand it. But there comes a time where you need to have a certain amount of "I don't give a fuck" in you. It's good to not give a fuck. George Carlin said that. Good to not give a fuck. You know, there's just too much other things that we have to deal with innately. You know, with ourselves, first of all. There's always things we have to deal with ourselves. Then now we're adding outside things, you know, outside people, outside situations, your work situation, financial, you know, whatever the fuck else you do. You know, and then now we're going to add just the agony of living, the death and the famine and the things that are completely incurable in this world. We're going to add that onto our backs. Like, it already takes up a portion of all of our minds, some of us more, clearly, that's what I'm getting at. But, you know, there needs to be a certain amount of not give a fuck in your life. If you give too much of a fuck, then I'm convinced that people who give too much of a fuck never reach their true potential, never reach the greatness that they're, you know, they can have, that they are essentially set up to be. And everybody has some definition of greatness. And there's plenty of those people who never reach it to that definition, that destination. And it's because you gave a fuck too much, God damn it. You gotta not give a fuck. Not giving a fuck is super important. Think about if everybody that had a phenomenal fucking idea, this Yeti bottle, for example, right? This is a phenomenal idea. What if every person that said, hey, that's a stupid idea, Yeti man. That's a fucking dumb idea. Why would anybody buy a portable water bottle that keeps your shit cold? That guy was clearly a dumb bastard. Oh, sorry. This lovely Yeti man continued. He did not give a fuck. The guy that made your cell phone, the guy that made your laptop, the guy that made this microphone, they didn't give a fuck. None of them gave a fuck. Because if they gave a fuck, then they would have just said, I'll keep doing whatever everyone else is doing. Right? Everyone else is getting a job. I'll just go get a job. Everyone else is, doing illegitimate things. Everyone else in my environment is doing things. I'll just go do that. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck about what happens. But he gave a fuck about what would happen and then stopped giving a fuck when people tried to get him to give a fuck about the old shit. Right? That's always what it is. Oh, you changed up on him. Man. And what's that mean? You're supposed to say the same forever? You're supposed to be the same forever, the same person every day, every year. Well, maybe every day for a while, but every year you're gonna be the same person. You're gonna be the same person every fucking year. It's a closed-minded way, in my opinion. It's a closed-minded way. It's unfortunate, but it is what the fuck it is, So, kind of what I'm getting at is there's already so much that we have to worry about. If there's any way that you could possibly lighten the load, you have to try. Simple as that. You have to try. You have to try to lighten the load one way or another. And if that means stopping giving a fuck about certain things, and it doesn't have to be the horrors in the world, it could just be stop giving a fuck about a certain person. If they don't reciprocate the same shit that you're doing for them, stop giving a fuck about them. Stop giving a fuck about a certain situation. Your job, you hate your fucking job, go find a new one. It's hard, it's hard. It's hard. It is hard, especially if there's unskilled labor and all this stuff, and it's easier said than done. But it can be done. If you hate your job and you want to keep working a job, you don't want to open a business, which is fine too, go look for another fucking job. Get out of these situations. Stop giving a fuck about the people involved in a situation that's fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? Just it's baffling to me how, as humans, and I'm guilty of this as well, but it's baffling to me that as humans we go back or we stay in situations that are bad for us. If you see some shit in the wild, right, and you see, maybe a gazelle or something getting a sip of water, and out of the corner of its eye, just the corner of its eye, it sees a fucking lion 100 meters away, that thing's gone. That thing's gone. It's not just gonna fucking stay there and get mauled by a fucking... It's gone. Maybe another day it'll happen, but today, he's not getting fucking eaten. Oh, but what about a snake? A snake you can't find. A snake. Okay, understandable. Now, in the wild, a snake bites an animal. They probably, depending on the size of the animal and the type of the animal, they might get weaker or they might just completely die. Fortunate enough for us, if we deal with another human that acts as a snake, slithers their way into our life, and, bites us, essentially, we tend to not die. It happens, but we tend to not die. But we do get hurt. So from there, what do you think the hurt animals do? They're usually the bigger ones, usually the stronger ones. They get the fuck on. They get the fuck on. They get the fuck on out of there. And we as humans, we get hurt. We get bit by the same snake all the time. Snake doesn't have to be one particular person. I always stress these things. It's not always a person. It's not always an idea. It could be a multitude of things. Because again, we are humans. We're complex. We have crazy fucking minds. But we stay in the same situation, and I don't know why. It's one of those things that it's just baffling. It's obviously attributed to our huge brain because we checks and balances, right? Oh, this job, it fucks me every time. Fucks me every time. God damn it. Every time I want to do, every time I have something planned, I got to cancel it. Or every time I have this, I got overtime, I get called it. Fuck this job. Fuck it. And then you get a little, the snake slithers out. You get a little bit, but, I get paid well. I get my hours. I have shit I have to do. Bite again. Motherfucker, you're getting cut. It's pretty sickening. But it's the fact that we have those checks and balances. A human, an animal gets bit all it has to do is get the fuck on. That's all it's thinking, fight or flight. We have these brains that are like, well, I have a job, and I need a job, and I have a family, and, you know, that's the point I was getting at. It's like, there's so many other factors. But once you decide to not give a fuck, that's when that fight or flight shit kicks in. When you say, you know what, I don't need this shit. I can go work at another place. Or I don't need to date this person right now. Or I don't need to be, quote unquote, friends with this person right now. I don't need to be in the situation that they're putting me in. Once you stop giving a fuck about that, then it's fight or flight. It's fight or flight. You get the fuck out of there. You do what the fuck you have to do. It's back to being that primal, you know, you fucked this up, you fucked whatever we were doing up, I gotta get out of here. And that's the mindset that I always try to keep, but I want to impute it on everybody that listens, because there's one thing that I care deeply about. It's not giving a fuck. It's about keeping your sanity. It's about keeping your mental health. And sometimes a detriment to our mental health is giving too much of a fuck. That's essentially what anxiety is it not? It's caring so much that you worry. It's worrying so much that it's crippling. You don't know what the fuck you're going to do. And, you know, that's just what the fuck it is. It's a hard thing to deal with, but it's important. And it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to just not give a fuck. It's a hard thing to just say, I don't care about this anymore. I don't care about what I was dealing with, you know, and my tolerance level for it. It's gotten to a point where I don't want to tolerate it anymore. Then get the fuck out of there. It doesn't matter how soon or how late. And obviously, don't be a dumb bastard. You know, checks and balances. That's another, like I said, I described it more of a hindrance to us, but it is obviously something that is to our benefit, right? You know, my point is, some people aren't just able to go ahead and leave their job. They have a family, they have people that they take care of. You know, they're not just up and ready to get the fuck out of there. You know, but over time, you can build the ability to not give a fuck. Maybe one day I'll have a course or something in not giving a fuck. When this happens, just stop it. You know, it'll be called The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I guess that's the theme for the day, is to not, you know, it's so easy to say, calm down, just don't worry. Obviously, we worry about different things. The magnitudes are different. You know, we're all different. But my stress to you guys is to find a way to lighten, Jesus, this thing's in my fucking face, lighten the load that we already carry. It's already a burden being who the fuck we are as humans. It already is, naturally, right? We all, maybe in Catholicism it's called the natural, what's it called? The original sin. We all have blemishes. We all have problems. It is what the fuck it is. But it's being able to understand those problems, understand what comes with them, the good days and the bad, and lightening the load. Lightening the goddamn load. The days where I feel like absolute dog shit, I don't care about anybody else. Today, I need to stew in this. I need to sit in this. I need to just, that's it. I'm not gonna, and I need to deal with what it is, because anything else that I put in my brain is going to be negative and shitty and whatever the fuck it is. You know, I'm not gonna, if I feel like shit, the first thing entering my head probably isn't the starving children all over the world. That's just what it is. And if that's what enters your head when you personally are having a bad day, and then you need to, that's an example of lightening the load. Lightning, whatever the fuck. But, you know, for this year and for what the fuck we're all going to be doing, we need to push through. There's going to be a huge bounce back. I ended up going on a whole fucking tangent about mental health and everything, and it was great. Because, you know, it was just me thinking out loud. But the huge bounce back that's coming. It might not come this year. It might come next year, maybe in the next few years. But there's going to be a fucking comeback, a boom. Which is why the people that haven't gotten on the jump yet, haven't gotten on it yet, you got to get on it now. Get the fuck on it now. This is the perfect time. You're struggling with work, you're whatever, come work on that fucking idea. Work on that idea now. This is the time. It is a buyer's market for everything. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Do whatever you want. Make stupid videos like I'm doing on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Do everything. There's any way. There's a multitude of ways for you to get out some sort of message, some sort of idea, some product, some service, some shit. Just try it. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? That's what it is, man. It's just who gives a fuck. Who gives a fuck? 2021. Who gives a fuck? Who cares what year it is? Who cares what day it is? Just know that every day you're working. You're working on something. Or you're fucking off. Just know. You gotta know. You gotta decide that day, all right, we're fucking off. We're doing nothing today. We're doing nothing today. That's it. We're fucking off and that's it. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Or today, we're working and I don't give a fuck about anything else. I don't give a fuck about fucking off. I don't care about eating. I don't care about sleeping, drinking water. We're working. Working. Get the fuck to it. It's Monday, people. It's fucking Monday. I hope you guys enjoy the Thursday episode. This is going to be a great fucking episode. It really is. It's going to be phenomenal. Super awesome guest. I hope you guys all check it the fuck out on Thursday. I'm realizing I think the camera is like tilted on it, a little tilted. I want to fuck with these angles. I like this one looking at me right now. This is good. This is good shit. I like this angle. The other angle's a little fucking wonky. I gotta play with it. It looks like it's tilted because of, I don't know, the table or something. I don't know. Either fucking way. That's gonna be a great episode. I want to do a live stream soon on YouTube. I want to do one. I'm gonna try and convince one of my buddies to see if we can do one for the Conor McGregor fight. Or maybe we'll do one before that. Maybe we'll do this Wednesday. We'll do the Michael Chiesa and Neil Magny fight or something. That could be fun. Either way, I want to get into the live stream shit soon. It'll be on YouTube. Make sure you guys follow me at abarboza000 on Instagram for all the updates. That's where I'm going to say my shit all the time. I'm going to do a live on this. I'm going to do that. Look out for this shit. Yada, yada, yada. Plus, I do stupid things on there that are funny sometimes. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're cool. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. Either way, follow me there. Make sure on my YouTube you guys are commenting. This is my kind of entrance into trying to be more interactive with the fans. You know, YouTube is a great place to do it. I still haven't figured out how to read. I don't know if you can leave comments on podcast platforms. I'm sure you can, but the two major ones, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, I can't figure out how to find them. But you know, I always put my shut the fuck up phone. I always put my information out there so you guys can contact me. You know, about anything. I want feedback. I want to hear what you guys think about the show. That's again why I'm trying to interact more so with the fans. The live stream is going to be a good way to do it, and YouTube just as a whole. You guys can like, you guys can comment, you guys can share. The comments are the biggest thing for me. I want to see what you guys think. So either fucking way, Tones Production is the YouTube. So do all that shit. Follow me on Twitter at the Simian_. I want to be more active on Twitter. I used to love Twitter as a kid. Or as a younger person. I'm still a kid. A younger person than I am now. I used to love Twitter, but I used to use it all the time as like a diary, which is fucking weird. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine a dumb 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old just on Twitter, upset all the time, you know, tweeting lyrics all day, being miserable. That was me. That was live. You could see me live tweet night in and night out, just saying miserable things. I don't remember how many fucking tweets I had on that. I probably had 10,000 tweets on there, just terrible shit. Now I'm trying to use it, you know, to be just to have another media outlet. I I of course share things on there, but I want to have some. I like creating. I want to have some of my own content on there. So, follow me on there. So Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Instagram's the big one though. Instagram is the big one. That's the big one. And then make sure you follow and subscribe wherever you listen to the show, wherever you listen, and most importantly, tell all your friends about us. Just anytime someone brings up, hey, has anyone have any new podcasts that sound good and that I can listen to sometimes, maybe on Mondays and Thursdays in the mornings? Well, my friend, I have one for you. The Smoking Simian, bitch. That's what the fuck we're about. Guerrilla warfare, marketing, bang, bang, boom. I'm just talking shit now. Thank you guys so much for listening on this lovely Monday. Have a great rest of your week. Talk to you guys on Thursday. Peace.